Beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. What is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I be, the good doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again once again. You already know what it is, baby. Instant classic in the making. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe and notify and do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the good doc's content. Everything you should need to know about me shall be listed in the link in the description area below. All right. I would have loved to make this a live stream video. I would have loved to hold off on making this video so that we could go live with it. But in the interest of time and the fact that I had these thoughts on my mind right now, and as you know, internet's on the fritz with live streaming because I only found out recently that they're, putting in new fiber optic lines and stuff like that. So hopefully that will make the shit trend a little better. But in the interest of time, I wanted to go ahead and get this one out. So I'm gonna premiere this one as kind of like a live stream setup. So I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. When it premieres, I'm gonna try to join you guys in the chat, okay? So make sure you guys get the likes up, caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. You guys want to support the good doc, please feel free to do so in that super chat below. But of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then, if you guys are watching this on the replay or you didn't catch it when it premiered, there's a little thank you button in the corner right below the video if you guys want to support as well. Beauty and bronze, ladies and gentlemen, the Filipinas are taking over, or should I say, are the Filipinas taking over? Now, there has been this debate over many years over the comparison of Western women and women in the Philippines. I mean, guys, you've heard this debate for quite a long time. And for many of us, most of us would probably choose Filipinas over Western women. All right, let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. By choice, many of us would probably choose a Filipina over a Western woman. And it has a lot to do with the modernization of women in the West and, how things are changing and, how things are starting to not necessarily favor us as men in the United States as it would for us as men in foreign countries, such as the Philippines. Let's just call a spade a spade. But in light of recent events, Miss Hilden, I hope I'm saying her name right, Miss Diaz, winning the weightlifting competition, not only just winning it, but smashing it with a gold medal, bringing the Philippines their first gold medal home, and also seeing how, how attractive she is in my personal opinion, I was like, man, so now Filipinas have beauty and brawn. All right, now first things first, I'll tell you right now, I will never date a woman that can whoop my ass. My girl came this close to being dumped. I'm telling you right now, my young lady came this close to getting dumped because back when she started her YouTube channel, you guys know she was in a CrossFit. And when I realized that she could pick me up, now I wasn't as big as I am now, but it's just the fact that my girl was lifting weights to the point where she could lift me up off the ground made me realize this is starting to become a cause of concern. But, again, health and fitness and stuff like that, I'm into it. Especially for my young ladies and especially for my Filipinas and whatnot. So, the fact that, the young lady, Miss Diaz, won the competition and now people are bringing a lot more, I want to say that this is bringing a lot more attention to the Philippines to an extent. I believe that this has the tendency to bring a lot more foreigners to the Philippines looking for Filipinas. Now, if there's one thing that I can honestly say about Filipinas, from my own personal experience, and I'm going to make sure I make this as specific as humanly possible, when it pertains to specifically the Southeast Asian region, we'll start there and then we'll expand. But when it comes to the Southeast Asian region alone, there is no woman or no race of women talked about more than Filipinas. You got Vietnamese, Cambodian, Thai women, and other women that come from that particular region, and there is no other woman that is talked about more than Filipinas. Now, of course, the friendly nature of Filipinas and, the care that they have for their men, and, they take responsibility for the men for the majority of the time, for the most part, and things like that. That is definitely an attractive trait. Myself and what I look for in a woman, natural beauty, and the fact that I can look at this woman, Miss Diaz, in her essence, watching her do the Olympics, because I'm watching it right now as I'm recording this video to gather some inspiration. But as I'm watching her do it, granted, she might be a little sweaty, hair pulled back, got her little Olympic rings tattooed on her arm and shit, because she gang now. She a gold medalist. Now she all about that action. But just looking at her, man, yeah, she a little swollen shit, but that natural Filipino beauty has always been one thing that has definitely attracted me. What I will say is that you are not going to sit here and tell me that you're going to find that just in Filipino women. You can find that in women in any part of the world. So I don't necessarily want it to ever feel like the only things that I'm saying here, you're only going to find traits, or I'm sorry, the only traits that I'm mentioning in this video and characteristics are only going to be innately for Filipino women only. But I have to say that these women exhibit these traits far more than any other race of women that I have ever met. Outside of women from Africa, that's a different story for a different time. But when it comes to Filipinas in their essence, the beauty and brawn, it's really taken over, man. And I do believe that there's a lot more guys that are gonna find themselves in the Philippines in the years to come. There's gonna be a lot more guys that are gonna travel to the Philippines to come. There's gonna be a lot more guys that are gonna say, yo, I'm tired of women over here, wherever they're from, Western world or not, and say, let me go over here and try to see what I can get in the Philippines or dealing with Filipino women. So in its essence, are Filipinas taking over? That is always going to be the question, ladies and gentlemen. That is always going to be the question. And again, the chat box, the comment section below is where you guys can have at it like a crack addict. One thing I never want to do, and I've said this in a video before, I never want to make a woman feel as though they are holier than thou. And I kind of feel like some guys have taken it to the next level, to the point where they are consistently piling on the positivity, to the point where they're laying it on so thick, to the point where they're giving these women the confidence and the ability to believe that they're going to always be chosen over any other race of woman. Is that true? I don't necessarily know, and I'm not the one to tell you whether it's true or not, but we have to sit here and have the talk in reference to understanding that dealing with just Filipinas in general, dealing with Filipinas, granted, many of us have had great experiences. There have been quite a few of us that have had horrible experiences. Trust me, you can find many videos on YouTube about Filipino women scammers and, oh, I got scammed. Oh, I bought a house for this chick and she left me and moved in her family and her boyfriend and stuff like that. You're going to have good and you're going to have bad. I just want you to be able to weigh the judgment of both and be fair in your assessment. Because when you have foreigners that are laying it on thick, you have a lot of these guys out here that are always talking about the positive and never the negative. And then you have a bunch of guys that are only talking about the negative and never the positive. You'll never get a fair assessment or a fair judgment of what Filipino women actually have to offer. All right? Like I said, there are some things that Filipino women do that will remind you of women in the West, okay? So let's not sugarcoat that shit. If you think that your woman's not gonna give you attitude one way or another, or at least once in your life, you lost your mind, okay? They got attitude. They're snappy, they're feisty, they're fiery. Tempo is a real thing, and I'm not gonna get into what tempo is. I'm pretty sure you've seen a million videos on that. But, you know, tempo is a real thing, and you don't think that this woman's gonna, like, give you the head roll and give you some attitude or some lip every now and again. You are sadly mistaken if you think that it's just gonna always be smooth sailing from here on out. I believe me and my young lady was in a relationship for quite a few years before we actually had our first major fight. I will say that in the beginning, everything is all good. But once you get past that honeymoon stage, ladies and gentlemen, and reality starts to set in, sometimes it doesn't even have to take that long for a woman to show their ass. You have to be willing to accept that that's a part of your reality as well. You understand? So beauty and brawn, they're bringing it right now. They're bringing it right now. And are they necessarily taking over? That is a debate that we have to have one day, very, very soon. I just want to give you the details, the nitty-gritty, the ingredients, everything that I've learned throughout my personal experiences dealing with Filipinas, and, you know, allow you guys to jump to your own conclusions, because I'm pretty sure some of you guys have already been in relationships with Filipinas, have at least talked to a couple of Filipinas online, or at least are interested in dating Filipino women in some capacity in the near future. So I feel like we have to discuss this on all levels and all fronts. I've had bad relationships with Filipinas. I've been scammed myself, all right? And if I allowed that one particular situation, I shared this story before, some people get a kick out of it. I'll never share it again because it's in one of these videos, you just gotta find them. But I have had bad experiences. If I allowed that one bad experience to have me shun away or to piss off and, do away with the whole group of women, I wouldn't be where I am right now, guys. I wouldn't be where I am. I would not have had the experiences that I've had, and I would not be able to come to you and share with you the experiences and the information that I could possibly provide. I feel like those that got screwed, what they do is they take the energy in the moment to make the video. I'll admit, I've made videos based off of my feelings in the moment. I've done that. Some of those have been my greatest videos. Some of them didn't do too well. But videos that you make in the moment because of how you feel, sometimes in situations where you're coming off in an extreme negative light, you might want to think about it, but you're not thinking about it. All you're thinking about is how bad you got hurt. All you're thinking about is how dare this woman take advantage of me. All you're thinking about is how dare this woman take advantage of me and my money. How dare I, nobody talks about this, how dare I allow myself to be taken advantage of by this woman in this moment, and all of a sudden now I'm broke, or I've lost a chunk of my money that I came here with the Philippines with because I was trying to be helpful, or I was trying to do this and I was trying to do that. Again, when I tell you that not all Filipinas are holier than thou, gentlemen, I mean it. Not everybody has your best interest at heart, and you have to be able to accept that on this side, they'll take care of their man, they'll be responsible, they'll do what they can to make their man happy, not necessarily submissive, but somewhat submissive, and they'll play their part and they'll do their role. On the flip side, they'll cheat you, they'll scam you, they'll take what they can, they'll come up off of you, X, Y, Z, and 1, 2, 3. I mean, it comes from both different perspectives. You got to be able to accept both perspectives. Now, there's one thing that somebody said in a comment section on a video many moons ago about a video that I put out. I can't remember exactly what that video was. I can't remember the exact commentor by name, but I do remember what it was relating to. The type of Filipina woman that you date. In the video that I made, to an extent, what he was trying to tell me was, the way you're talking about these women, or the way that you're talking about, this particular situation as it pertains to certain types of Filipinas, you're only dealing with a small sector of women. AKA, you're only dealing with the women that come from the lower class, impoverished, damn near on or below poverty line Filipinas in the country. The women that are looking to come up off of you, the women who are likely to come up off of you. What about the middle class? What about the lower, upper, middle class type of Filipina? You never really hear a lot of foreigners talking about these particular types of women, especially when it comes to dating them. What are the odds that a woman that floats around middle class has her own job at the very least? It may not earn her a lot of money. Maybe she's just a sales lady at SM. Maybe she's just a Starbucks barista or whatever it is. What are the odds that a woman at that level is going to try to screw you? Slim to none, only because you already know where she works, so where the fuck is she gonna go, right? When you know where she works at, she's got a job and things like that, and you know her and you know about her and her family life, chances are she's not gonna be able to come up off you like that. If it's just some chick that you met online that you just thought would be a good idea for you to just bring her to the hotel room for the night, and you have jewelry in the hotel room or some money in your wallet or something like that, and some things can happen and transpire that could go from what was perceived to be a great night, or what you were going into to be a great night, ends up being a shit night, as a result of, being taken advantage of, things can really go tits up in that regard. So when we talk about the types of when we're talking about the types of Filipinas that you guys are opting to date or to get into relationships with, it does play a major role in the class of women you're choosing to date. A lot of guys want women that come from this lower class poverty, just above poverty, just below poverty line type of Filipina because they feel that they're easier to get. Dealing with the middle class, upper middle, it's the upper middle, lower middle, and the middle class type of Filipina. Now the upper echelon, the 1%, good luck. Okay, but we're just gonna talk about ones that I personally believe you have a higher chance of getting. Upper class, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I want to focus on the classes of women that I do believe that you have a greater opportunity of seeing the type of woman or being with this woman in long term if you want to, right? So when you're dealing with upper middle, and lower middle, you have to put in time and effort. And I kind of feel like this is where things go tits up real quick. A lot of guys don't want to put in the time. A lot of guys don't want to put in the effort. A lot of guys don't even want the conversation. So they deal with women that come from this particular socioeconomic class, the lower socioeconomic class. And they're like, well, fuck it, man. I know that if I throw her a couple of pesos, I can get me some and I'm good. Right? And again, I guess it depends on the type of situation that you're looking to be serviced for. It depends on what you're looking to get out of what you're getting into. But a lot of guys, and y'all can talk shit all you want to, but do not tell me that this is not true. A lot of you guys start hooking up with these girls and then y'all start falling in love. Now, there are some guys that'll be like, man, red pill for life, man. I'm just here to smash and dash and I'm good to go. If that's your way, do your thing. But I've had a lot of red pill guys meet some Filipinas and go and fucking fall in love. So don't play me. So when I talk about beauty and bronze or Filipinas taking over, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe they have a tendency to turn any man that is just looking to hook up into a dude that's looking to get their hooks in and try to hold this woman down. It's happened. So don't lie to me. Maybe it didn't happen to you, but don't act like it has not happened before and that it could not happen. All right, if you guys enjoying the content, man, make sure you get the likes up, make sure you caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs, it most definitely has to have it. Guys want to support, like I said, please feel free to do so. But of course, the good doc is happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with him today. Now and then, catch this one on the replay. Thank you buttons in the corner if you guys want to click that button for me and say, hey, doc, you know what, I appreciate the content because I appreciate you for appreciating me. All right, let's get back to business. But like I said, man, it does depend on the social class that you're choosing to date within. I do believe that you are less likely to get scammed and taken advantage of. Less likely, operative word, less likely. Not saying not gonna happen, just less likely to get scammed by your middle class Filipina more so than your Filipinas that come from the lower socioeconomic class. All right, I've dealt with women from all social classes. Y'all may not believe this. I don't know why you wouldn't, but you may not believe this, but I have been in situations where I've dealt with women that represented the 1%. I'm going to share with you this story because I feel like it's noteworthy. It's a part of my history. It's a part of my past, and it's definitely something that I believe to be a learning moment. You know, it was a learning experience. And it made me further realize a lot of different things about the upper echelon that a lot of people won't talk about. Shout out to my man BGC Mike. You know I love you, brother. Always, and I'm always going to shout you out. Anytime I talk about the 1%, I always got to bring him up because that's my guy. He always takes care of me when I go visit him in BGC. It's my man's right there. Anyways, no cap. Anyways, back to business at hand. I went to school with a lot of women that came from money. All right, the school that I went to, my bachelor's degree program, more specifically, a lot of nurses, and we're talking about 40K a year. I'm sorry, 40K a semester. Damn, I gotta ask my girl. 40 to 44,000 pesos every semester, so almost like 80 plus, 90 plus annually. All right, but I didn't date this girl from my school. All right, she went to Ateneo de Davao University, ADU. Shout out to all my people who know about Ateneo de Davao University. Okay, now, her father was a wholesaler for, he wholesaled canned goods. That was it. But he was like the biggest in the area. So he was basically delivering all of the canned goods to all of the major grocery stores and shit, to all of them. So, you know, they had money. That was what the father's industry was. She was Filipino Chinese, okay? The one thing that I've noticed about a lot of the 1%ers, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, not all of them, they like to party a lot. Like, they really love to party. Like, they party a lot. We're talking about trying to go to the club every week, and every time I try to text her, she was either hanging out with her friends at her friend's house, or they were partying and doing all of that shit. Sometimes they like to go to the clubs and get drunk and stuff. And we're talking about middle of the week type shit. Again, she was pretty young. We were young. And in college you party. I mean, it's kind of what the mentality is all about. Okay, so she was a partier, man. She loved partying and going to the clubs and hanging out with friends and stuff like that. Again, I wasn't looking for anything serious, but we did talk for a period of time. And every time I texted her, she was always doing something. But she was somewhat interested in me, enough to give me the number and enough to text me first every now and again. So I thought that was pretty cool. In the beginning, I thought that she was just looking for a token black guy. That's what I thought. I thought she was just looking for a token black guy to bring with her when she hangs out, to show that she knows some American guys or some black American dudes. That's what I thought. And it kind of came off that way. She would hold on to your boy and shit. Just, hey, this is my friend and stuff like that. Because we weren't dating. It's my friend Mike and everything like that. And, it was cool. She hung out with a group of pretty interesting guys. Not guys specifically, but a group of individuals. A lot of interesting people. And I got to know a lot about the behind the scenes of these upper echelon kids. It's weird. It's the craziest thing. They were into drugs, let's be honest. They like to do drugs, but that's neither here nor there. But I learned a lot about what their parents do to make money. And you would be surprised at how simple and easy the things that they do, or the industries that they're in, or the money that they make, and how they're able to make money. One kid's father owned a plantation, or I said a plantation, I'm sorry. He owned like a farm with like bananas and stuff. It was a banana farm or something with the trees and stuff like that and coconuts. And he would ship that shit overseas in like other countries, not the United States, but he would ship bananas and coconuts overseas and stuff. So we owned the land, and stuff like that. So you got to know a lot of how these kids were able, how their families was able to get money. But back to the young lady, because that's what you guys are here to say. She was just really into some like crazy shit. And I started to notice that a lot with the one percenters. A lot of partying, a lot of just having fun and enjoying life. Again, that could have been because we were 18, 19, some of them were 17, 16 and shit like that. It was just crazy. It just got to the point where every night they wanted to hang out. You gotta understand, man, I got shit to do, man. I got schoolwork, motherfucker. I'm here because of school. I could lose my section on that visa if I fail out, right? So there was no playing around with that. So I ended up having to end that. How it ended, I'm not gonna go into details, but that's one of the experiences that I did have dealing with the upper echelon. You do have some that make money that are super quiet, super shy, little makeup, and you don't know it because they're not the ones that show out. These are the ones I'd be looking for, right? These are the ones that I'd be looking for, but they're hard to pick out because unless you know her and unless you know the family, it's just very rare that you're ever gonna really know about this particular aspect of this girl unless you opt to date her. You just kind of find out some shit later on. But anyways, when it comes to dealing with certain types of women, I do believe the middle class is where you need to stay. I've heard myself and other foreigners mention this in a video as well. But if I wanted to go ahead and conclude this one and round it out for you guys in reference to Beauty and Bronze or Filipinas taking over, they definitely are making a name for themselves. Okay? They're definitely making a name for themselves. Definitely making a name for themselves. And I would be pressed and I'm interested to see what happens when the Philippines eventually opens up again. I believe there's going to be a lot more travel coming into the area for sure. It's going to be a lot of travel coming into the area for sure. Probably way more than it was the year prior because, like I said, 2020 definitely opened our eyes to what could potentially happen, shut down the fucking world. But now, whenever it does open and everything becomes more official than a whistle, the influx of foreigners coming into the country is likely going to be crazy. And you're definitely going to have quite a few gonna fuck it up for us, I know, or at least they're gonna try to fuck it up for y'all. I should say y'all, not us, but I am a part of y'all, so I'm gonna say us. But again, I'm in a relationship, so I'm not really pressed. But you just have to think long term about the entire thing, what you're looking to get out of it. And I think that when you decide within yourself and amongst yourself what you're looking to get out of a relationship with a Filipina, it'll determine, and I hate to say it this way, but it will determine the type of woman you're looking to get into relationships with. If you feel yourself being like a savior of the masses and shit like that, you may find yourself dealing with ones from socioeconomic classes, ones that you can help bring out of poverty. Right? If you're like myself and others who will say, yo, middle class is where it's at, man. You know, they bring a lot to the table. They definitely bring a lot of opportunity. I mean, instead of you being the one that's just working all the time, she can get a job herself, whether it be somebody with a nursing degree, a med tech degree, or anything of that nature, anything medical or things like that. You know, they can definitely be, how can I say this? They can definitely bring a lot more to the table, I believe personally, than women that may come from other socioeconomic classes. All right, so Beauty and Brawn, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you're catching this later on, I appreciate you guys coming through. If you were able to come through in the live chat, much love to you guys. Love you guys sincerely, I truly do. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it like this. It has been fun, it has been real, but it's time for the doc to go and get to getting. So with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Want to support, you already know what to do. Super chat if you catch the premiere. That channel thanks button in the corner below the video if you guys catch this one after the premiere. All right, I love you guys, sincerely do. Mahakita, mabuhay. Peace.